So I have an obsession when it comes to LEGO engines. Well, a few actually, but I'd say the biggest ones are round pistons. I've made a lot of engines with these pistons. I really like the extra realism that they add, and I just think they're cool. But the problem is, these are only 6x6, and I'd like to make some bigger ones. And before we begin, I want to make it clear, I'm not going for optimal efficiency or high RPM. I'm making something that just runs. That's it. And if you want to follow along, I'm going to have some general tips for how you can build one of these yourself. This is the cylinder. It's made up of these two arch pieces to make an 8-stud diameter bore. If you're building along, there's two types of these arches. One of them has a continuous bow like this one, but the other one has a flat spot with an anti-stud on it. These will not work for this design. You have to have the continuous bow, so if you mix these up, your engine will not run. In fact, the piston won't even fit inside the bore. On the side here, I've added these ports, because this engine will be a flathead. Why? Well, no particular reason, I've just found flatheads are the easiest to build and get running. The valves are simple, the same 3x3 discs that everyone uses. On the intake valve, I've included a very soft spring from one of my engine DIY shop engines. This keeps the valve from being sucked open during the vacuum stroke. Now for the piston. It's made up of these 4x4 quarter circle plates, with these plates on the side to fit into this slot in the bore. This keeps the piston from rotating around inside the cylinder. This is the crankshaft. Very underwhelming, I know, but it's just built to run, it's not fancy. Next step, time the engine, which I did with these two 40-tooth gears, and connected them with a chain. The slack in this chain is probably triggering a lot of people right now. But like I said, this is just to run. Finally, let's close off the engine with the head. Alright, that should be perfect. Real quick, let's give it a spin. And... yep, it doesn't rotate. And here's why. The cylinder is ever so slightly oval in shape, by fractions of a millimeter. So how do you fix this? Well, that's easy. Use a bore widening tool like this one. All you do is place it inside along this bottom tile, and start going back and forth with the handle. What you're doing is widening out the cylinder just enough to let the piston move freely. Alright, now let's give it a spin. Yeah, now that's much better. Now it's time to actually test it. I have to say, I was very surprised when it ran with no issue, especially considering my last attempt at an 8x8. So I'd call this a success. I hope you enjoyed watching and maybe you learned something new today. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.